want to thank you today for taking the time out to have this interview with me today. I know it's been a lot with the Zoom and trying to get it all straight and all of that, but without further ado, I'm just going to go right on into it.
All right.
Okay, so I just want to let the future people know that the paperclip is out. It's at Amazon, and also you can get it at Barnes and Noble,
And
right?
Kendall. Yeah.
And Kindle. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's they can get it through audio as well.
Not audio, no. Nope. Not
No
audio.
audio yet.
No.
We gotta get audio next. We gotta get audio. Okay, so first things first, I just want to know a little bit about yourself. I know that you're right now touring for your book.
I am.
So how many places have you toured for the
It'll
book?
it'll it'll be 14 cities total when it's finished.
Okay.
Yeah, 14 cities total. It's wrapping up. I only have two more spots. I have New York again, and then I have LA, and then that'll be done.
Okay.
It was the summer tour.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, all
Yeah.
right. So what has been your experience so far with the tour? Like,
It's been different. It's been really interesting. It has put me in a circle of people that I would never have been around before. Um, um, that are different, males, females,
right.
different ethnic groups, like different levels of success in life. So it's actually been really, really cool. I've seen some really great things. I've met some really great people. Have made some really good connections. So it's been a great journey for the summer. Looking forward to, just wherever else is going to take me.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, I read it. It is interesting. It was some things that
Hmm.
I wasn't aware of that I'm aware of now.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't want to give like too much because I want people to still read it for themselves. I don't want to say
Hmm.
too much about it. But it is one character in your book particular that remind me of a teacher I had when I was in
Yeah.
elementary.
Okay.
So with that being said, like what is your aspect on looking at that specific teacher now if you were to see her today?
So that specific teacher and I checked on my Facebook. We've been Facebook friends for about 12 years now. Yeah. One of the things with the book, I think I look at it like this. Everybody makes mistakes. We all
True.
have issues and shortcomings. I don't know what she was going through, or even if she even remembered that prior to me even producing the book, right? Um,
Okay.
so I'm not for certain where she was at in her life at that stage. I just know that it affected me. So I know that the scripture says that the Lord will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. So if he's preparing a place for me, that means that they're going to have to see me eating good and living good. And
Hey.
so the same little boy that she told those negative things to is now a 50-year-old grown man that's doing really great things for not only himself and his family, but also for his community. So, I mean, I think the reason that I allowed her to be a Facebook friend is because I think that she needed to see that as well, because it wasn't that it was all bad. I mean, I'm sure
Wow.
she maybe taught me some stuff that I, maybe don't remember, but I just know that that day in particular. It had been a series of days that were really similar. So,
Yeah.
again, you don't know what somebody is going through as an adult or what they have going on in their own personal lives. I know that what it's taught me though is to be slower to speak when I'm dealing with other people because it's very impactful. When I present it, I've been blessed to be on a couple television shows, a couple podcasts, a couple radio interviews, and things of that nature. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is if I asked you what you ate for dinner, 5 nights ago, you probably couldn't tell me. But if I asked you what your favorite lyrics were to your song in high school, you can recite them like nobody's business, right? I mean,
Right.
that song stays in our head. But the reason
Yeah.
is because words are powerful. Words are
True.
very, very powerful and they stick with us. You can't remember dinner from 5 days ago, but you can remember lyrics from 20 years ago, and that's the crazy part of the heaviness of our words. So that's why we have to be really, really, really mindful on what we speak over other people.
Yeah, true. But like when I look at it, it's still it allow you to have the platform that you got right now because you're
Absolutely.
talking about it, you're expressing yourself about like what happened to you. And as you said, like, we don't know what adulting is like until you're an adult and you have to
Yeah.
do be an adult and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but anyway, so what inspired you to want to be an author anyway? I mean, I know this is your first book. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. Is it your first book?
It is my first book. I have two more done already. Um,
Okay.
yeah, after the first one. With my Facebook posts and all that stuff that I've been writing for years, people have encouraged me for a long time to write a book. Um, it just was something I always pushed to the back burner. And then one night in November, I was going through, some personal stuff and going
Hmm.
through a personal season. And I just happened to look at the foot of my bed and my laptop was there. It's normally in the office. And I picked it up and
You
five
just
hours later the paperclip was done. And it's crazy that when it went to publishing and when it went to all that kind of stuff, I missed a couple punctuation marks and that was it.
yeah.
And so we corrected it and put it on the market and had no idea that it would do what it's doing. But you know,
Because you
God
never
is
know.
gracious.
Like
No,
that,
you never know. Yeah,
you don't know what God has in store for you. You just have to go with it. Just have to
yeah,
have faith in whatever you write is, gonna reach people. That that's how I look at it, basically.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
what drives your creativity to
Just life.
this
Just
life?
just life. Yeah, just life. I'm the oldest grandkid of my
You sure
generation.
are.
Yeah, I'm the oldest grandkid of my generation. I have a boatload of little brothers and little sisters and nieces and nephews and all that kind of stuff. And I just really want to be a light for them, as much as possible, not only in my own house, but, in my community. I just have a zeal for life. I just want
Yeah,
everybody to do better, regardless of, because again, life is a roller coaster. We all have our up days and our down days and our days where we wish we could throw away. And, and,
right.
and some days we wish would last 48 hours instead of 24, right? Because there's those great days of life too. And so I just wanted to, when I started writing it, I didn't know what it was going to come out to be. I didn't even really know what I was going to write on, to be honest. There
Mm,
was a bunch of topics that were kind of floating in my head, and when I started writing the paperclip, because I know how heavy it was for me,
yeah.
and I just knew that topic at that time would help some people.
Okay. Okay. It seemed
Yeah,
like it because you can tell through your writing that you're very genuine in what you're talking about. You're very
yeah,
detailed in what you're explaining too with it. So
yeah.
it's not like, you're just making up a story. Basically.
Sure, sure.
You're writing about your experience, not,
Right,
this is not fantasy. It's
right. This is a real deal. This is what happened. This
it's
is a
true
real deal.
events.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so what do you think is the most challenging thing about writing?
I think from talking to other people, I think the biggest challenge is overthinking.
About what you want to say or
Just overthinking our story. It's like,
okay.
so I spoke with somebody yesterday. I was in New York yesterday and spoke with somebody. Had a meeting yesterday, and I spoke with an individual in New York, and had these phenomenal ideas, like probably 5 books worth of information,
Okay.
right? But had not yet done one. And so I looked at the notes that were compiled and all that stuff and all these things. They were going to do this big, huge, humongous book. And I said, well, why don't you just produce this? to make this a book because it was book worthy, right? It was a great title. It was a great topic. It was something that was well needed in the society, that we live in, and it wasn't until I broke it down like that where they were like, "Oh wow, I didn't even think about that." Here I am I'm trying to take my whole life and put it into a book, and I'm not finding the time to write about each and every little thing.
Hmm.
But we all go through different seasons that maybe this season for you was 6 months, but it can bless somebody else that we live in a society where people are giving up, like, and that just is what it is. Mental health issues and schizophrenia and alcoholism and drug abuse. All these people are trying to escape the reality that they have, so they don't know a way out. So if we can reach back and say, hey, you know what? I understand where you're at. I've been there too. But there's hope. You don't have to always be in that situation. That situation is going to expire. Every storm runs out of rain is what I've been telling a lot of folks because it does.
Yeah.
We might not see it right then. We might not see it 5 days from now or even 5 months from now. But eventually we'll get to the other side where that thing is not affecting us like it was when we first walked into it. So I really believe that as a writer, just don't overthink what you want to put on paper. Even our notes, if you compile your notes, I
Hmm.
don't know that they're notes, right? You
You
know
just
that they're
agree.
notes, right? It's like we had and it brings me back to this. We had a play last year at our church, and it was a really big production, sold 500 some odd seats, and it was a really, really great play. And one of the guys was really nervous the day of the play, and he
Hmm.
was going over his lines in his head, and he kept missing like little bits and pieces, like a couple words here and there. And he's like, "Man, brother Nick, I don't know what I'm gonna do." And I said, let me tell you something. If you're on the stage and you miss a couple words,
Yeah.
the only person that's going to know is you, right? Nobody else is going to know that you missed words. They've never seen it before. They have nothing to compare it to. And lots of times I feel like writing is like that. You might know, like when I read my book now, I read it a couple of days ago because I hadn't
Mhm.
read it in a while.
Okay.
And now I see things. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could have added this, I could have added that, but I could have. But nobody else knows that but me, right? It's my story. So when you're putting out your story, just don't overthink your story. Your story is going to bless a lot of people, and even in the scripture, if we go back to the scripture, Jesus said he went back for the one that was lost. He didn't go back for millions. He went back for the one that was lost and wayward. So sometimes, even if one person was blessed by the book, now thankfully for my case, it's done really well.
Yeah.
Uh, but even if it was the one, I still would have thought it was a success, even if it just got published and printed. I had no expectations of what it was going to do, right? I thought
Yeah.
family and friends, and I didn't think that I would be flying around and talking about this thing
Yeah.
and in front of, different school districts, pitching it for kids and all that stuff. I had no clue, but it's worked out and it's worked out for my good.
Yeah, because you just never know. You don't
Yeah,
know. It's just like going through that tunnel that's dark. Like you don't
yeah,
know what's in front of you. Just got to keep walking and just got to, like I said, have faith in, that it keeps going to the
yeah.
light. You just got to keep pressing forward. I mean, I think that, after I read it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, this is a start. I felt
Hmm.
like that was a start for you. That's how I
Hmm.
felt when I was reading the
Sure,
material or whatever. And I don't know. And it's just like, I mean, you're blossoming. Like you are doing so many different things. You're talking to so many different people. And that's a good thing in the publishing world because you can connect with other people who are doing the same thing you're doing.
sure.
They they might be past what you're doing. They might be just right where you're at. So with that being said, do you see yourself like in between, just starting? How do
Oh,
you
no,
see yourself
I'm still
like?
green in this thing. Yeah, I don't know anything. When people ask me about books, I have zero clue. Mine hit. it hit.
Yeah.
It was out 3 days. Somebody picked it up as inspirational book of the month. It was out for 3 days. So
Yeah.
who knows how that stuff works? I have no clue. Uh, I know what I did to write it. I know that when I got finished, my daughters that read it, they were like, my daughters, when they read it, they were like, "Man, Dad, this was stuff like I didn't even know about you. Stuff that I didn't know that you struggle with, and so that was a good thing, right? They realized, what was going on,
Yeah,
and we
of
went from there.
course.
So yeah,
That's
so I
just
think
like what I said earlier. Like I learned a lot of stuff.
yeah,
I didn't know. Like, I mean, to me, your demeanor always seemed like sure of yourself.
sure, yeah,
That's what I get.
yeah,
We never know what a person actually I would say behind the scenes, like
yeah,
how
for
they
sure,
are and stuff, because no one no one lays their whole deck on the table. No one
sure,
puts y'all in the forefront unless it's people who are real close to you. But
sure,
sometimes they don't even know. Just like you said with the girls, your kids, they're like, oh, I didn't know you dealt with
yeah,
that or
for
stuff.
sure.
But I learned a lot, like, just from reading, and you put a lot in a short story
Sure, yeah, a lot in
to
35
me.
pages.
Yeah, you put a lot in there. So I'm like, okay, well, I feel like once again, even though the story is over, I feel like it was a start.
I
You
agree.
started the book, but I don't feel like that was the end. It felt like could have been, like you said, more,
Sure.
added more or something. But it was a good read, though, a very good short read.
Well, thank you.
But anyways, okay, so we're gonna change gears a little bit. So right now, are you currently reading any other books besides your own book?
I'm not a big reader at all.
You
No,
not?
I'm not. I'm not at all. Yeah, I'm not a big reader at all. I never really have been a big reader. I mean, I read my word every day. I'm a big Bible reader.
Okay,
But
but
yeah,
that's
but
reading.
yeah, well, for sure. I'm talking, but
Still a book.
outside of that, yeah,
Okay,
outside of that, I'm just not a. I've never been a big reader. It's never been like a favorite pastime of mine.
okay,
But yeah, but I
that's
mean, I've been around. I've been around recently where I've read their works.
okay. That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
ask.
because you're in the same circle and they're supporting you, so you support them type thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's been good.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, like, I know you've been networking with different people. Have people been, because a lot of people give you their book just because you guys are, doing things
Yeah.
for you to see what they write about and stuff like that. So that's why I
hmm
asked, have you read anything? Do you listen to any audio books?
I did
You don't
not.
read
I
or
do
no?
not. Yeah, I do not.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
my day is generally packed from start to finish,
right.
and yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite author that you wouldn't mind reading?
Um, so I was blessed to meet Dave Ramsey 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, well, almost 3 years ago. So I was blessed to meet him, and so I have his actual personal information where we communicate back and forth, personally. So I mean, that's a cool thing, a cool connection.
Yeah.
So I have his stuff. So I enjoy some of his stuff. Some of his financial literacy things and
Hmm.
things of that nature. But as far as anybody else, yeah, I just don't. I don't read enough to have a favorite.
Okay.
Outside of the Bible. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Hmm.
fine. So, I know the paperclip was based off basically your experience with your life as far as when you were younger. Do you
hmm
see yourself being more flexible with your writing? I guess when I say more flexible, I mean like, do you see yourself writing on like drama or fantasy or horror or
No,
any?
no. I like being. I feel like this. I'm 50 years old, so there's a ton of stories that are probably. I mean, that are actual real stories
Okay.
that are book worthy. And then I feel like me with my journey of faith, which is essentially the second book, that ties into more of my faith journey. I feel like Um, I mean, with so much real stuff, I don't know that I would venture off into something that wasn't real. I mean, at least at this point. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
again, you know, with having, you know, countless brothers and younger brothers and sisters and the different stories and how we were raised and
Uh-huh.
all that kind of stuff. I mean, we got enough plenty of real life stuff to to write about. I'll try not to give away too many family secrets, but
Yeah,
yeah, but we have plenty of stuff to write about. And I can't, you know, I come from a very blessed family. You know, one side is black, the other side is Mexican, and nobody doesn't call the other side family even when I'm not around. So, you know, that's a blessing. You know, a lot of people can't stand their family. You know, a lot of people have so much family drama and trauma and all that kind of stuff. And thankfully that's not mine. It's not, you know, it's not that we don't have family issues
of
because we
course.
do, you know, but for the most part, I grew up with a family that just loved not only us in the house, but I mean, just everybody else. So it was easy to grow up and be Nick Hardrict because that's all I saw growing up.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, you are very accurate about that though.
yeah, yeah.
So with this book, what are your thoughts on self-publishing versus traditional publishing?
I enjoy the self publishing. I haven't done the traditional publishing, so I can't speak for that. I don't even know how that really necessarily works. Just because that wasn't my story, you know that. Um, I know people that have done both. I know people that have, you know, tried to, you know, get their works out there, and you know, people felt like it wasn't worthy to be published and all that kind of stuff, and I get all that stuff, and
Yeah.
um, you know, I had people that tried to partner with me after it was already rolling. Um,
I
you
mean,
know that,
that's how it always, well, that's how I saw it. That's how it
yeah,
always ended up happening. They
yeah.
have to
So
see your work. So
yeah, yeah. So they once it's doing all right, then they you know are interested in you know seeing how they can stick their hands in it. So that's been one of those things. That's what I've seen at least.
okay. Well, or can you give me like not all of it, but you said you had two more books that you were writing?
I
Or are
have two
they
more.
done?
They're finished already. Yeah, the first one is The Making of Me.
Okay. And the
Yeah, and
second?
then the third, or the second one is The Making of Me. The third one is not is untitled at this point.
Oh, okay. Do
Yeah.
you know like how soon you're gonna release those?
So it's on schedule to come out like in November. The
Oh,
Making of Me. Yeah. So they suggest that you stagger them so you can still
mm-hmm.
roll with the success of the one and then have
Yeah.
something hot on the press. So
And
yeah, I've
keep
learned a
the
lot.
audience
I've learned a
wait.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah, keep the
keep them
audience.
waiting, but not waiting too long,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
not too.
know all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, again, I never thought it would do what it's doing,
Yeah.
and it's doing well. And yeah, I mean, you know, God's gracious. You know, you have a 35 pager that people have you know read from coast to coast. So I mean, that's pretty cool. You know,
Well, before we close out, I just want to know, is there any advice you would give to an upcoming author who wants to actually get their stuff out?
Stop procrastinating. That that is the number one thing I can say, because after I came out with the paperclip, you have no idea how many people that are. I started writing and I started this and I started that, and then you talk to them and they're like, "Oh man!" And so you try to be excited for them, right? Because
Yeah.
you know the excitement behind it. And you're like, "Oh my God, that's awesome, man! When'd you start?" I started 6 years ago. So what's the delay? Like it reminds me of this. I love to barbecue, right? I love to barbecue. I barbecue at Legacy Plaza and things of that nature, invite people over and things of that. So I went to a Kingsford charcoal school years ago and I learned how to grill on charcoal grills. And it was 5 days and 8 hours a day. And like it was really, really intense barbecue class, right? I loved it. Uh, so I know indirect cooking, direct cooking with wood and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so one day I was at Legacy and I was grilling some food, and I actually wrote about it on Facebook. But this guy came down the street and the grills were just going, but I was inside. I was grabbing something. I was going back out, and when I came back out, he was literally, "Oh man, I was going to take some off the grill, but you're too big." So we started laughing, and he I don't know if he was for real or joking. I mean, he was homeless, so he could have thought about grabbing
Um,
something.
okay.
But I said, well, now I knew that it wasn't done yet because I only had one layer of sauce on it. Okay,
Okay.
it was one layer of barbecue sauce. I do three. I baste it. I let it bake on the opposite side. Then I flip it. I go three levels, and so that's when I have time. Well, he was trying to ride the bus, and the bus was coming up the street. And so what ended up happening was I knew that it needed to be basted two more times, but he was hungry. Okay. So what I did was I grabbed a plate, I made him a plate really quick, and I sent him off. And that plate blessed him, right? It only
Yeah.
had one layer of sauce. And
Yeah.
so lots of times that's how we are in writing.
Yeah.
We might know that we want three more layers on it,
Yeah.
but you have people out there that are starving for a word that only you have to to give them and to encourage them.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I would say is just stop procrastinating, get it down, get it on paper, get it published because I'm only I could still be writing the paperclip now. Again, at 50 years, I got a long life. I got a bunch of stuff to write about. But with the people that have been blessed by it already, with the testimonies that have been blessed to read it already, with the people that have been healed by it already, do they want to wait until I'm 55 years old, or do they need that now when I'm 50?
Yeah.
So that would be my biggest thing is just stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Stop finding reasons why you can't get the book done, and just get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I really appreciate reading the book. And
Thank you.
like I said, I'm going to be waiting for your next one in November. I will read that as well.
Okay.
Hopefully, I can get another interview with you about that book.
Absolutely.
And much success to you, Nick. I love you. We family, and
Amen. I love you as
I
well.
really love to see you prosper in many different ways,
Yeah.
and that's for in many more books to come.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me interview you, Nick.
Okay. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye bye.